Okay, so I guess we've got
Advice with Dr. Laura.
well, that's definitely trademarked. But
I play a doctor on the radio.
Yeah.
and
PhD.
we've got two different girls here that we were considering which one we'd rather go on a date with.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
So here's girl number one. I'll just set this clip up for you. This girl's boyfriend thought it would be funny to buy her a Happy Meal instead of an adult's meal.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So here we go. She has to stand on her tippy toes to touch his face.
Well, that's one angry black woman.
It's one angry woman.
Clapping. Damn, yo. He just walked out so sad. And now everyone's laughing and having a good time. Also, before the second video gets popped up, I'll just tell you that we both chose her.
Yeah.
We both chose her. We would both rather take her. So
Okay,
now let's show her
wow.
Second one is the America girl, by the way.
It's the leader of the group.
I will not be getting pregnant by your fuck ass this motherfucking summer, bitch. I'm finna have my mother. I want some snow crabs and I want to pop this pussy all motherfucking summer. So bitch, I need a plan, motherfucking Henny or some motherfucking plan B, bitch. Bitch, I need some Henny and a plan B. Bitch, I need some Henny and a plan B. Bitch, I need some Henny.
She's not drinking that in the Walmart pharmacy.
That's what I said. I was saying CVS. We got the same thing going on.
Come get this motherfucking ass.
Come get this ass.
The plan B. Bitch, I need some Henny and a plan B. Bitch, I need some Henny and a motherfucking plan B. Can I get a plan B?
Can I get a
Plan B,
yeah.
please?
It wasn't just for the video. She actually did go there to get Plan B, apparently. Right at the end, after her song. Can I actually please, though, get a Plan B?
Please.
Yeah.
She was nice to the clerk.
But, yeah. Do you see
Twerking
why
up a
we
storm
both
in the
chose the
CVS.
McDonald's girl?
So
As long as you don't get her a Happy Meal, you're probably going to be okay.
first of all, McDonald's girl is cool with you taking her to McDonald's. She was fine with that until he disrespected her and ordered her a Happy Meal.
Didn't make her happy, did it?
No, it did not.
Okay. Well, that's just trashy.
Well, that's a given.
Very.
As D. Gordon said, flashy or trashy? That's trashy.
It definitely is. Dancing around in the
Dancing
pharmacy.
around in, well, that was trashy too. But the
Openly singing about Plan B pills. That might be a
Well,
little
and then the
trashy.
positive with the Plan B girl is she's not gonna have a kid.
Well, that was what she said in the very beginning.
Yeah.
That
She
she's
shouldn't.
not-
She should not have a kid.
She should not have a kid. She's got the self-awareness to know that she should not be raising a child.
Who was she talking to? I
That's
just
a good
wanna
question.
know.
Who's filming that video?
Another one of her,
well, I
her
don't-
group. Just another one of her group, I'm sure.
Or was it the guy who
The one that didn't wanna-
she wasn't having?
Maybe that too. He's pumped. He'll record. Oh, I'll record this. Hell yeah! I don't have to have a kid now.
Do you want to go to those women's houses? I do.
No,
I do.
no,
What do you think you'll see?
not
A
kids.
grown-up version of those crazy people. Crazy people.
Yeah.
that was
Well,
pretty
first
trashy.
of all, look at how they're dressed in the.
Well, it's the South. It's the South.
They don't
and-
dress like that in the South. Not when I was there. I would not see
You
any
didn't-
Atlanta girls.
Yes. The Atlanta girls is the first girl. I'm pretty sure that was in Atlanta because I've seen tons of girls wearing
She
just
was also dressed
Yeah.
similar than the other girls. Really,
She
from
was just
the
wearing
first
like
video, right?
bodysuits are popular in Atlanta for the girls. They
Too hot.
It's really hot at night, so they can wear. It's like kind of like Miami like that.
Well, that big guy, and she's throwing that stuff in his face.
And he just had the self-restraint and the
well, yeah, because he doesn't want to ruin his NFL career
Yeah, probably.
for her.
Well, if she's like swinging at him and he even just pushes her
Yeah.
away, she's gonna fall over. It's gonna be all dramatic.
He didn't do anything.
Yeah,
Tiptoes.
He just has to
tiptoes
just
and lean back.
just try to avoid what you can and just put your arms at your
All you
side
got to
and
do
just
is
walk
avoid
out.
fingertips. Even when she was on her tiptoes, she could barely get up to
I
his
want
face.
to send that to their parents. Like,
Well,
okay,
the guy's
this is how
parents
you
might
act.
be proud.
Yeah, the guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look how good
no,
your
they're
son
gonna.
is.
I bet you
Why'd you buy a
that
Happy
mad
Meal?
black woman is going to go after that little tiny mad black woman for doing that to her son. I would bet you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Grab her by that weave. Well, that would come right off.
Yeah.
I would grab her by that hair. Oh
Yeah.
my God, it was terrible. Both
Throw-
of them are terrible.
You're
That's
throwing
terrible.
ice cream cones in my baby's
then
face.
which is the lesser of two evils? Which is the
McDonald's girl.
which one's preferable?
No.
Which one would you rather have Nate bring home? Your son. You have to choose one. McDonald's.
No.
No, you just choose
No.
none? You
Definitely
have to choose one.
Definitely not the McDonald's.
Not the
Plan
CVS
B?
girl.
Well, I would rather do the. If you have to choose between the two, yes, the CVS girl.
Oh.
Well,
I mean, yeah, you don't have to go out with her. He would be the one that would be embarrassed. She's
L-
twerking
let-
around. all-
Let me see that scar on your arm. You want another one of those? And that was hardly nothing. Not the Danny scar.
the
The
biting.
bite mark.
Yeah.
Because your arm was in the way. I think you're just. I mean, that was in front of people. Imagine
That's true.
when you're at home
Yeah.
or you're sleeping or something, and those are the people that set your bed on fire.
Speaking of when you're sleeping, I just heard a story not too long ago. Of course, Florida man. It's always Florida man or
Oh,
Florida
Florida.
lady. Exactly. His wife was sleeping around with some other dude, and I guess he caught him in the house, or he trapped the guy that was sleeping with his wife and like tied him down on a bed, cut his wiener off, and just left.
Left him there bleeding.
Did he
Left him there bleeding, and who knows what he did with his wiener.
That's what I was gonna ask, because I think if they find it, they can reattach it.
I just
that's what
saw,
they did.
like-
That's what they did to John Wayne Bobbitt, right?
I just saw
I
the
don't-
immediate
yeah, I think he
story.
did get his reattached.
Didn't she toss it into like a field or something? Like she drove away and like threw it?
Elena.
Lorena Bobbitt.
I don't think. Did she? Throw
Speaking
it
of,
away?
also, I always think of this because I know a stand-up brought up. Maybe it was Chappelle or something. That people like joke about that openly all the time, and especially back when it happened, like everyone was
Yeah.
joking about it. What if the roles were reversed? And what if he cut off this girl's tits and then threw them out the window or something?
Well, that happened in Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, well,
That was
That's a movie.
That was a Stanley Kubrick movie.
and also,
horrible.
I don't think anyone would have joked about it.
Can I
Probably.
tell you, someone took me on a date to that movie?
Wow, what a guy!
No.
what year would this have been?
You know, probably 74.
And you were just like,
75,
"Wow, cool! I'll go
No.
home now. Thank
Yeah.
you."
something. Bye, Felicia. That's
Yeah.
for sure. I was like, yeah. No, I don't like that.
I don't
like
think
that.
we need a second date. What are you going to take me to next time?
Had he seen it previously, or was he
I
like,
don't
I heard
think
about
so.
this new movie?
You know. I
Maybe
don't
halfway
think
through
so.
the movie, he was just like,
I don't know.
Whoops. Not even halfway. Like, shit.
This
Yeah.
this
Like the Bad
wasn't
Santa.
Not exactly
whoops.
what I thought it was going to be.
this wasn't Step Up to the Streets. Although I bet you watched that movie and loved it. The movie about dancing.
Probably. I kind of remember that.
I always hear that about certain movies that could be maybe seen as child's movies, like that animated movie Seth Rogen made, Sausage Party, and people are like, I brought my kid to see this. Did you even watch a trailer? Just because you see a cartoon, did you not notice the rated R? Because at the end of that, like all the food has an orgy.
Yeah, well, I remember when
It's not a very great movie.
you took us. We as a family went to go see Bad Santa in the theaters,
That's fine.
and
It's a
I
great
was
movie.
probably 11 at the time, which means my brother would have been 8 or 7.
Nice.
And so I remember when we got up to the counter, they say 3 adults and 2 kids for Bad Santa. the person working at the ticket
This is
window
not a Christmas
specifically
movie.
said, like, even though I just want you to know that even though Santa's in the title, this is definitely not a children's movie. There's a lot of profanity and lewd situations. And my mom just says, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, that's fine.
Buys the tickets and we go in. And yeah, I learned a lot of new words from Billy Bob Thornton that night. Some words that I just didn't occur to me to put these groupings of words together. And then when I heard Billy Bob say them, it just kind of blew my 11-year-old brain. And
That was another thing that I always say. My friend's dad would always take us to movies. Jack Forbes. That if it was a R-rated movie we really wanted to see, he would just buy a ticket to it too, and then just leave. Go sit down in the seats and be like, "All right, I'm going." He'd leave and he'd pick us up after the movie.
yeah.
He probably just wanted a couple hours of freedom away from the psychopath fifth
do you-
graders.
Now, how is your memory that sharp that you remember what the ticket person says? I don't think the ticket. Maybe
I
was
definitely-
thinking it.
No.
I
I remember
believe-
the ticket person specifically because it was like a bored girl. She said it in a very bored tone. I want you to know that even though this has the title, this has the word
Yeah.
Santa in the title, it is definitely not a children's movie.
That's probably something they make the people do when they're buying tickets. Oh, Bad Santa. This is not a children's movie.
Yeah,
Just
it
so you
was-
know, especially
not.
if you see them with kids, you have to probably say
A,
it.
a brilliant film, by the way. I mean, John Ritter and Bernie Mac were
Great.
fantastic in
Great
that movie.
movie. It's wonderful. It's the best Christmas movie.
Yeah, I think it is.
I really do.
What's your favorite
Not even
Christmas
a joke.
movie?
Best Christmas movie.
The
What
Jew,
is
the
the
Jew
best
who
Christmas
loves
movie?
Christmas, Mom. What's your favorite Christmas movie?
8 Crazy Nights.
No, you know that voice. He's stupid.
Okay.
You know, it's nice. It's nice to have a Hanukkah movie. My favorite Christmas movie, probably like one of the Santa Clauses or something. The
Tim Allen?
Allen?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought you were gonna go with like a Christmas story.
I thought you were going to
or
go with a
something.
classic one like
thought-
Miracle on 34th Street.
I thought a
Is
Christmas
it
story.
34th Street?
Yeah.
Okay.
A Christmas Story is like classic, but still.
That movie was from the
It's like 80s or something?
late 80s Christmas Story. When did that movie come out?
Oh, probably.
I don't think
know.
I've ever actually even seen that movie.
What?
It's on TV for 24 hours.
Like I don't
Yeah.
think I know I've seen a lot of clips. I know all the famous clips, but I don't think I've watched the movie
yeah.
just all the way through.
A Christmas Story, 1983. Oh, I thought it was late 80s. I was giving it a
Yeah,
little
that
more.
was fun.
I was giving it a
That
little
was
more
fun,
credit.
too. But I also like
What
the
what about-
Hanna-Barbera ones. The Frosty the Snowman and
The Rudolph
yeah.
the Rudolph.
Old school.
and
the
the what,
Misfit toys.
Year
and-
Year Without a Christmas.
yeah, and they all got sent to that island. The
Island
for
of Misfit Toys.
I don't really even remember.
That's
Oh,
Rudolph,
my.
right?
Yeah, like I don't remember those movies
And the
like,
elf that wants to be a
vividly.
dentist.
I know I watched all of them. I just don't remember.
Yeah, I did like those.
Back in the day when if it was a cartoon, Mom would just like park me in front of the TV. Like,
So our kids today, I always wonder why they keep making kids kids movies and TV shows when there's already enough kids shows out there to get you through your childhood.
I grew up watching cartoons that you
Yeah, I
probably also grew up watching.
I grew up watching Bugs Bunny and Scooby
Looney
Doo.
Tunes.
Yeah.
And it never for a minute occurred to me that it was old. It didn't occur to me that, Mary Poppins came out in 52 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And even watching like Scooby Doo, Where Are You? It's like that was 70s too.
yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
also didn't even register that it's old.
Wizard
But-
of Oz came out in the 30s.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very true. But if Jerry cannot hit Tom with a big mallet and flatten him
that's-
anymore in today's
Yeah, but that was the best part. When
know,
Wile E.
the-
Coyote got blown up by his own.
Kids,
Dynamite.
kids
Yeah.
cartoons now are so weird though.
yeah.
Is that
What-
any better than Violent?
It's funny. Remember that
It's
show
so
Danny used to
weird.
watch called One Piece?
Oh, it's an anime show.
It's an anime, but I tried to watch it and you
So there's-
don't really get what's going on.
There are over 700 episodes of One Piece.
Are there?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's been going for ever and ever and ever.
What is the? I don't even know what the deal is with
I
it.
think it's a pirate. I think they're
yeah,
pirates.
it's kind of a pirate, but
I don't really
But
get
are
it
they
either.
superhero pirate? I don't even get it. I don't even know.
Even when we were kids, though, that was when
Speed
like
Racer was weird. And then you got One Piece, what just takes it to another
when we
level.
were kids is when the weird.
You must have thought
cartoons-
Pokemon was the weirdest thing in
Oh,
the
yeah.
world.
But when we were kids
It
is
was.
when the really weird, bizarre cartoons started, like Rocko's Modern Life and
You Ren, I
Real
think it started with
Monsters and
Ren
stuff.
and Stimpy
There
was
you
the
go.
first like weird cartoon.
just
Cat
so
Dog wasn't
bizarre.
weird?
Cat Dog was after Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
But all of them were
I
really
think
weird.
Cat Dog was weird. You remember Courage the Cowardly Dog and Cow and Chicken?
Yes.
I remember you were like, I don't want you guys watching this. This is weird. This is just weird. And I was like, I didn't have a problem with this. I don't get this show.
And even like SpongeBob, still, it had its moments where it was really weird. too.
SpongeBob was a lot more goofy.
Yeah.
Goofy than weird. Yeah.
SpongeBob is like that campy kind of
That was,
stuff that they
that was
want
like
to
the
appeal
most
to
normal.
adults.
That's like the most
Because
normal
there's
cartoon.
definitely some jokes and little pranks that
Yeah, and the
go
whole-
above
The whole
kids'
thing
heads.
looks like, kind of the 60s tiki fad.
Yeah.
And then even though all those weird, bizarre cartoons were out, my favorite cartoon from when I was growing up was Hey Arnold, and that was like the most normal cartoon.
Hey Arnold takes place in Seattle.
No.
The creator, Craig Bartlett's from Seattle. He went to Evergreen State University with the Simpsons creator, Matt Groening.
And they're from Oregon, right?
Yeah, Matt Groening's from suburban Portland.
So it's heavy Northwest inspired.
And Craig Bartlett ended up marrying Matt Groening's sister.
There's also a couple like aspects
Hey
of
Arnold
New
was terrible.
York.
Hey Arnold is a fantastic show to
Oh,
this day.
So good.
The
Hey
one
Arnold
that
is not-
that
there's-
you liked that I liked was Rocket Power.
I
Rocket
love
Power is a
Rocket
pretty
Power.
cool
like
show.
That was a
But
great show.
I've watched Hey Arnold as an adult, and there is some there's some stuff that goes way over kids' heads in that show, like the girl in the show, Helga, who's
Yeah.
always fawning over
Yeah.
Arnold secretly, but being a bully to him. Her when you're watching it, you're just like, oh, Helga's kind of weird as a kid, but then you go back and watch it as an adult, and every time you see her mom, she looks real sleepy, and she's always got a drink, and she comes up to Helga's door, and you just hear like the ice cubes in the glass.
Yeah.
And her dad is a workaholic who
Only likes the older
who only
sister.
likes her perfectionist older sister, who's smart and beautiful and better than her in every way.
Yeah.
So it's just like a sad story of this kind of neglected kid, and you start to see all the other kids have tough stories.
Yeah.
Arnold, his grandma's got goddamn Alzheimer's. She doesn't know who she is half the time.
Yeah. That's true.
I don't know. I just find it hard to look at his head. So
Yeah. But
it's hard to watch.
It is a
the
weird
cartoon.
head.
It
Very
was
weird.
the animation style was kind of 90s, but it was it's a really deep show.
Oh gosh.
Great soundtrack.
Great soundtrack too. It was funky.
Okay.
It was funky.
I don't remember all that. I wasn't watching that closely, apparently.
You were watching Rocket Power.
And the zine. I was gonna read the zine.
Oh yeah,
man.
that was Reggie's thing.
Yeah, the zine.
Squid. That was like when we were really young, because I remember at the playground like playing Rocket Power at recess. It's like none of us have any
Skateboards.
wheels. It's like jumping off the big toy.
Yeah, but then they would hang out at the
shore shack.
The shore shack
Tito
Yeah,
and Raymundo.
they were high all the time.
all the time.
Tito and Ray.
That's another thing that went over the kid's head.
They were just smoking weed and surfing whenever they were.
Bret Hart.
Tito's got these old Hawaiian sayings that don't make any sense. Okay, I guess let's get into
cartoons.
the advice.
Oh.
Okay. Am I the asshole for not tipping the cashier? So a few weeks back, while at a movie theater bowling complex, I decided to order a milkshake at the stand. Not much exchange between the cashier and I, and it's time to pay. They need my signature on the receipt. I noticed there's a tipping area, but declined to tip. I do this usually, if you're just buying, one thing.
Yeah.
This prompts an annoyed sigh by the cashier, whose body language completely changes to visibly pissed. In my perspective, it's no different than ordering a shake at a Burger King or anything for that matter. It's not like I was at the table and was served my food. I just bought something from a stand, let alone the cashier herself didn't even make the shake. So am I the asshole for not tipping something really standard? I doubt I would have been asked to do it if I paid in cash. There's no tipping jar at the stand either.
No.
No, he's not an asshole, and I don't. When I go to the teriyaki place and I order takeout, I don't tip them.
Yeah.
What they do?
You didn't serve me.
No, they didn't serve me. The tipping is for being served at a table.
Yeah.
The tipping jar annoys me. I don't put shit in the tipping jar. I don't tip the baristas. Why? I don't. Because I don't think that's what it's for.
I've even been at places where the cashiers are so bold as to say, if you pay in cash, they say, "Oh, and here's $4 back, and if any of this was to make it into my tip jar right there, I would definitely appreciate it."
Maybe I would have if you didn't say that.
But first of all, to ask, you don't ask for it, and second of all, you didn't do anything. You just sold me something that you didn't make
They
it.
turned around
Yeah.
and gave it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't. You're not the asshole. Don't ever tip when you're at a fast food counter like that. That's ridiculous.
Tip at a
At
restaurant.
bowling alley.
If
At
you
a
got
restaurant.
if you got a server and stuff, yeah.
Well, yeah, they're you're clearing your dishes, taking the food to you, refilling your water and your soda.
One thing I do get upset with is places that expect you to tip before you've even gotten the service. At some food places, you just walk up to the counter and you place your order up front, and then you can go sit at a table if you want or take it out to go. And then they print out the receipt and there's a tip line right there, and you're like, I haven't eaten the food yet. I don't know how good it was. I don't know how much I want to tip you. That's to ask for a tip before the service has been rendered, I think is definitely
off.
definitely against protocol.
I think so.
Tips are for when you're dining out and you're sitting at a table and getting served. If you just pick something up, you don't need to tip at all.
I'm trying to think, and I'm sure I didn't when we went. No, we did. I did at Serious Biscuit. But sometimes when you go to Serious Biscuit, if we weren't upstairs, you just go to the counter. You tell the guy what you want. You sit down. If we weren't upstairs, then he just calls your name and you come get it. I wouldn't have tipped him.
Yeah.
I tipped her because she had to run up and down the stairs because we were on the second floor. But yeah.
I think for something like that, if it's a place you go to regularly and you know what the service is like and you know what the food is like, then you can apply your tip. You can make a tip based on your past experiences there.
Yeah.
But then you're in Seattle, and then you also have to pay attention if they're already adding that surcharge on your check,
Yeah.
which they do in Seattle now, to pay for the wait staff.
Yeah.
Well, I would rather
I hate that.
it be included in the bill than okay, this is the printed price on the menu and on your receipt, and then here's the secret price, and if you don't pay the secret price, then you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah. Pretty much.
That's what I don't
Yeah.
like. It's like tell me
what it is.
Tell me
Yeah.
how much it actually costs for the food and for the labor, and let's just start from there. It's just a more honest place. A thing that a lot of Europeans complain about when they come to America is that our tax is calculated at the time of sale. Now, when they go to the grocery store, the label you see on the shelf
That's what you pay.
that's the exact amount. The tax, they certainly pay tax,
Right.
but it's included in that price you see printed.
Why isn't that the case?
Why isn't that the case? And that's what a lot of Europeans say. That makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Here's the another
calculate
thing.
tax
Well,
in
didn't
your
that
head.
happen with the liquor thing and all that? And that's how, because
I
they're
don't know.
charging you.
Yeah,
twice
well,
on
with
the liquor
with
tax.
the liquor, I think I've seen the labels that say the price, and then in smaller
Yeah.
text it says after Washington State liquor tax.
Right.
It's
But at
$30 more.
But at least it tells you that.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another scenario. When the pizza guy comes, they charge you a delivery fee for delivering the pizza.
And then they want you to
And
tip.
then you tip them. So what was the delivery fee for?
Yeah. Isn't that your tip? It doesn't make any
it's
sense.
not, because they charge you a delivery fee.
And it doesn't
and
go to
then
him.
It doesn't go to him.
I just feel like tipping is it's the restaurant owner asking me to cover the cost of his employees.
Yeah.
That if you can't afford to pay your employees what they need to live and work, then you can't afford to own a restaurant. You can't afford to run a restaurant.
I want people to tip me.
I'm only going to tip
when
you
I-
if you give me good service, too. If you're
Well, I
a
don't
shitty
care
ass
if I-
waiter, I'm not going to give you any tip.
Well,
mean,
but it doesn't even matter.
They're-
They're just adding it on there if you're in
But
Seattle.
all these
They can be shitty.
all these tipped jobs, I mean, they really ought to unionize, especially restaurant workers.
Just get paid more.
Restaurant workers need to unionize, then they'll get standard hours, they'll get health care, they'll get guaranteed schedules, have a lot more.
And then we're evil for not tipping. If
Yeah.
we're just picking up food, Like, you didn't do any service to me. It's not my fault they don't pay you enough. Like
Yeah.
you said, unionize. Make sure you get paid and have your benefits and guaranteed hours.
And I guess I
But
think
the cooks don't work on tips.
the cooks do get tipped out. Yeah.
But it's all like combined or whatever.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
they take in all the tips from the night. And
But don't the cooks get a set? They don't get like $1.60 an hour or whatever the waitresses get. Don't they
the
get
cooks do get more.
Well, they're also doing the cooking. It's a lot of work. Hot kitchen.
But that's what you're getting paid for.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You think Gordon Ramsay's cooks rely on tips?
I heard that the head chef at this was many years ago, by the way, but I heard that the head chef at the White House was making like $35,000 a year.
Really?
Wow.
Well, I wouldn't do that job.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that job at all. 'Cause that's president. He could ask for
Anything at any time.
Any time of the day and night.
Do it for a year and then have it on your cooking resume. Cooked for the president.
Well, if it's Trump, it's pretty easy. You
I was
just
gonna
got to
say,
go to
unless it's Donald
KFC.
Trump.
Yeah. Any takeout will do for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, here's one. I am an atheist who works at an international company in a very big city. I have a lot of coworkers who come from a certain religious background that requires them to pray multiple times a day. I would say 90% of my coworkers share this faith. Maybe 70 to 80% of them take the time out of the day to go pray. They get to leave the office 2 to 3 times a day for 10 minutes apiece for prayer, and they get paid the same. Don't need to take time out of their lunch, etc. I used to resent this and asked my boss, who belongs to this faith, why they were essentially having an extra paid 30 minutes break per day doing the same work that I do. She couldn't give me a response other than religious considerations have to be made. Even though I'm a known atheist, I decided I too wanted some time to meditate every day. I told my manager I needed the same amount of time as my coworkers and told her it was very important to me. She initially said no, and then I got a hastily written email saying of course I was welcome to take that time to meditate the same day. She'd obviously checked with HR and covered her ass. For the last 6 months, I've been having my 30-minute meditating out in our company garden every day. This has caused a slight issue because other non-religious people are starting to ask if they too can have meditative time, and it's causing friction, but in my opinion, either everyone should be able to have this time or no one should. I recently told a friend the story and she reacted negatively. She said I was being rude and ruining it for everyone else, and that at Christmas time, my coworkers usually go over and beyond to fill in the holiday hours so the rest of us can enjoy our holidays, and that the same courtesy should be extended to them. I told her I'm not hurting anybody or taking their prayers time away from them, simply enjoying that privilege myself. You know, when I was in the Air Force, this was an issue with smokers. Anyone who happened to be a smoker would take like a 10-minute break every 2 hours. Sometimes the heavy smokers would go out every hour.
Yeah.
And I started to become a little bit resentful as why do they get to work half an hour less than I do every day just because they decided to be smokers. I can be a smoker. Can I just go out there and sit and not smoke?
Yeah.
If they want to pray, I agree. What the law says, you have to give them time or accommodations for that. Doesn't say you have to pay them for that.
Yeah,
You certainly
that's true.
do not have to pay them for that.
That's true. You could just change the policy. Then your coworkers will really hate you.
If it's Ramadan and they want to take that week off, you don't get paid. You use your vacation time, but you don't get paid.
Well, that's what he said the friend brought up was, will they cover you around Christmas time?
I guess it would depend on the country because in the UK they get like 6 weeks of paid vacation. Every job has 6 weeks of paid vacation per year.
Wow, that'd be nice.
Yeah, let's move over there. But yeah, I think that probably if the company was to make some kind of compromise that say if you want to take these prayer breaks,
you get a 30-minute lunch, not a half-hour lunch.
or you stay till 6:30 instead of leaving at 6.
There's nothing wrong with that because, like it says, it's not denying them their right to pray.
He just wants his 30 minutes to chill, which is fine.
So
that's essentially what they're doing. They're going out.
If he's
and
honestly not
meditating.
religious and he just wants to sit out there and relax for the time they go out to pray, You know,
fine.
if they're
But
allowed.
if he wasn't getting paid for it, I bet he wouldn't do it.
Exactly. He would stay on the clock.
yeah.
He's kind of an
Okay.
asshole. There's he's also not an asshole though.
Well, but you know,
Since
he
they're getting
says
paid for it, he
there's a
wants to
lot
get
of it.
paid for it too.
So 70% of the workforce, and so you and 4 other people are in there doing all the work.
For
It would get kind of old.
for 30 minutes, even if it's only 30 minutes a day,
It would get kind of old.
10 minutes at a time, you're going to be, God
It would
damn
get
it.
kind of old.
Someone else's phone rings or whatever, you got to go answer it.
Well, you know, and probably if they're covering Christmas at some assembly line or warehouse job. So
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
slippery slope.
I'm trying to think what I don't know what the state does. I'm sure you wouldn't get paid for it. You could do it,
Yeah.
but I'm sure you would not.
They would
get paid
definitely
for it.
let you do it, but I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, you wouldn't
You
get
would not
paid.
get paid for it,
Because then this would happen.
right? Because then you have 5,000 people
Yeah.
taking siesta.
Wouldn't
Right?
that be
Yeah, it
nice?
would be a
heard-
very different percentage over here. All those crazy white Christians.
Yeah, well,
I want to go out and pray to God.
then there'd just be
Okay,
a whole bunch of
Jesus.
people shot because the crazy
yeah,
white people
exactly.
would have to.
I don't get my extra 30-minute
Yeah,
break.
so now I'm going to shoot
I'm
you.
going to kill everyone.
All right. Here's our last one.
Okay.
My 17-year-old daughter, youngest, and we had her late, is 7 weeks pregnant. She will be 18 by the time the baby gives birth. She is not in a relationship with the father. He really, and I can't stress this enough, does not want a baby. I honestly don't think he'll even show up for the birth or anything. She has decided to continue with the pregnancy and against all advice from practically every adult in her life. After she insisted on not only continuing with the pregnancy but raising the baby, I asked her how she is going to manage that. This was the gist of the conversation. Her: I'll get a job. Me: who's going to watch the baby while you're at work? Her: I thought you and Dad could. Me: absolutely not. I'm not raising another baby. Pretty much a back and forth for a bit that led me to believe that if she has this baby in this house, I'm practically going to be its mother. I very recently retired and my husband is retiring in exactly 11 months. There's a countdown, and this is not how I want to spend my retirement years. It's not fair to us. So I told her that until she has until the baby is born to find a place to live. Husband has always been wrapped around her finger, which is normally endearing. I love how much he loves our children, so he is not fully on board with that, but I feel like we need to be united on this. I just want to know if I'm in the wrong here. And it says, edit, to everyone acting like I'm spending the next 7 months ignoring her. I will help her get a job, get on assistance if need be, find affordable housing, etc. I just will not raise this baby.
Exactly.
She's not an asshole.
No.
Yeah, Reddit agrees.
Especially
No.
if this guy really is like, hey, I'm not going to be there, so...
So she had a choice. If she didn't want to get an abortion, she could have put it up for adoption.
Yeah.
If she's telling the mom she doesn't have the wherewithal to raise a child because she has no idea what's involved. She just assumed, yeah, I'm a 17-year-old kid living at home and I'm just going to leave the dog behind when I go on vacation.
Exactly.
That's what happened. That's what happened to Casey Anthony.
I think she's not an asshole for not wanting to raise the kid, obviously, but it kind of does fall on her a little bit. If your daughter expects that you're going to do that, you might have fucked up raising her along the way.
Well, but she's trying to fix it.
Yeah, that's true.
She's only 7 weeks pregnant. There's time. She's only 7 weeks pregnant. Yeah. Let her go out.
Even if you're in Alabama, you can still have an abortion.
she'll get on
That's 8 weeks. We were talking about that earlier.
she'll get on public assistance. She'll live in Section 8 housing. She'll learn what her life's going to be. Unless she gets a contract with MTV and 16 and Pregnant, then she'll be rich. But
She's 17. I'm pretty sure that ship has sailed.
Too bad for you.
but other than that,
Ain't no 17 and pregnant.
Not what the show's called.
But other than that, it's a dumb idea.
Yeah.
Because 17-year-old girls think it's really cute and we're going to get cute clothes. And
Yeah. Don't think about actually raising
you see
the
them
kid.
downtown,
You know how many-
downtown
you know how
Seattle
many
with the baby in
Instagram
a
likes?
stroller.
They just think of
They're
taking
just
pictures.
hanging out down. I'm telling you, when I was at the concert, I'm at Tom Petty, and there's a stupid girl with probably a month-old baby
At a Tom Petty concert.
at a Tom Petty concert.
Yeah.
What a waste.
No headphones on, nothing.
Ah, nice.
Nothing.
Baby loves Tom Petty.
Well, that kid.
Let's get to the point. Let's roll another
The
joint.
baby's like, woo!
No, it was not.
He's like, wah. Not
There
woo.
was another
It
lady
a
with
wah,
like a
not
2-year-old
wee.
Yeah.
who must have been used to this because about 3 songs in.
You just laid down and went to sleep?
Yeah,
Nice.
blaring, thumping.
If you're going to go do something, just drop your kids off
That was at the
somewhere
Pearl
else.
Jam. That was at the Pearl Jam. So
Oh,
there was
wow.
weed and everything else going
Yeah,
on there.
of course.
Well, you've had enough of my comments for the day.
I guess so.
Yes. So
I think we're almost done anyways.
Anything you want to harass me
well,
about
we were
in the
going to
meantime?
maybe talk about Edgar for a little bit. She knows about Edgar.
okay, I've
I
one
bet we can talk
question.
about how bad his bobblehead is because he took a picture and he can put it up in the
But
editing.
I have one question. They kept talking. His trainer kept talking about his eyes and his eyes and his eyes, and he had to work harder because of his eyes. So I was in our staff room, and I'm like, well, "What's wrong with his eyes?" Oh, we had trouble focusing on the ball.
Clearly not.
The girl said, "Oh, he had trouble," and I said, "Well, then how did he hit it?" And she said, "Well, that he had to work really hard." And then the other guy said, "Well, probably because most right-hand hitters are left-eye dominant, and I think that was the problem." Well, that made no sense. What's wrong with his eyes?
He's got a lazy eye.
I think like with Freddie Mercury's fucked up teeth, I think that lazy eye may have just been the secret to his
That's the key?
success. Is that
It clearly didn't hinder him.
He just saw the ball better than other people.
Yeah.
And whatever was wrong with his eye, it helped
Yeah.
him figure out where it was.
God
Okay,
damn it.
here's-
If he was having trouble seeing the ball, imagine if he could see the ball.
Here's a collection of
That's
statistics
700.
courtesy of the Sporting News. Martinez would have to return to baseball and go 0 for 278 for his career batting average to dip below 300. He would have to go 0 for 386 without reaching base safely for his career on-base percentage to dip below 400. He would have to go 0 for 1,522 without reaching base safely for his career on-base percentage to dip below Ichiro's lifetime 3.55 OBP.
And that is not hating on Ichiro.
It's-
That's just showing how good Edgar
Wasn't
is.
Ichiro have a reputation for a guy who got on base
On
no
base
matter what?
yes.
Yeah. Bunting, infield
He would
singles, walks. He was getting on all the time.
He would have to go 0 for 1,133 without reaching base safely for his career on-base percentage to dip below Ken Griffey Jr.'s lifetime 370 OBP. He'd have to go 0 for 766 to dip below Willie Mays. He reached base safely 203 more times than Hall of Famer Ernie Banks did during his career, with 1,720 fewer plate appearances.
That's like one of the craziest ones.
He would have to go 0 for 244 for his slugging percentage to dip below 500. So, what was the
That's a good one too. So it's over the span of a season, but it's not one season.
162 games.
356, 73 doubles.
He from 95 to 97, his on-base percentage was 1 point higher than Ken Griffey Jr., 386.
Well, here's the good news. If he returned to baseball right now, all of that stuff would come true.
Yeah, that's true.
At the end of his
Let's
career, he's kind of like Vogelbach. You know, he's
Yeah.
got at the end of his career, he had to hit a triple to get to first base.
Yeah.
So he just kept hitting triples.
Here's the most impressive stat. Seasons with at least 25 home runs, 50 doubles, and 100 walks in baseball history. Edgar Martinez, 2. Every other Hall of Famer combined, 2. Gehrig did it in 27, Musial in 53. Through his 30s, he was better than Ty Cobb.
Wow, yeah.
He reached base safely 2,369 times. Ty Cobb 2,341.
Yeah.
10 players have at least 300 home runs and a 415 on base percentage.
8 are in the Hall of Fame. 1 is Barry Bonds.
Oh, okay.
One is
the
Edgar.
other is Edgar
Barry
Martinez.
Bonds.
And Edgar gets in.
I think Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame.
I'm not saying he shouldn't be, but how, it might have had something to
maybe
do with his bat. You don't know.
with the
Not his bat, it
steroid.
was the steroids.
With the steroids, there's gotta be some way you can say something about steroids, but it's not like
But it
those
wasn't
are
illegal back then.
like
Isn't
there's
that what
no
they're
one
saying?
like there's no one taking steroids that's already in the Hall of Fame. Come on,
Mickey Mantle was hopped up on amphetamines.
there's gotta be.
That's not steroids.
Well, like some of
It's
the
still a
dudes
banned
from like
substance.
guys weren't taking steroids in the 80s. Come on.
Oh yeah, they were like in the 70s and 80s in the NFL. They were all jacked up on steroids.
MLB?
NFL,
Oh, I thought you were talking
and
about.
MLB as well.
Yeah.
But
Steroids didn't
but-
just start in the mid 90s.
But also throughout the 70s and 80s in the MLB, you saw a lot of these like Ozzie Smith type guys who were just real skinny, didn't have any, like maybe hit less than 10 home runs for their whole career.
But he could do a backflip.
But he can do a backflip. But
Eh.
and these guys who played in the turf era, so maybe their arm's not quite strong enough to throw from shortstop to first, but they know they can skip it off that turf and get it there in time,
Yeah.
where they couldn't do that on dirt or grass.
That's true.
So the stats are flawed.
And
The
some
stats
dudes
are, the
took
stats are
a
flawed.
lot of steroids.
Some guys took a lot of steroids.
Well,
and
if
if
you
you're
look at these old guys
and
who
if-
played game after, there's no rest game. There is no resting.
That's why they were all
Yeah.
taking amphetamines. Daryl Strawberry, he was just going straight crack.
Crack and coke and everything probably. And then still playing. Doc Ellis threw a no-hitter on LSD. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He said he was like diving out of the way when guys were hitting like slow little dribblers. How did you end up? Sorry, I didn't know if the guy was on the left side of the plate or the right side of the
Well,
plate.
how do you know where you're throwing
He
it?
said he could just see the tape on the catcher's fingers to like show
Oh.
what finger. He's like, well, that's where
Oh,
his
where I'm
fingers
aiming.
are, so
that must be the
that's
middle of
where the
plate.
glove is. I'm going to do as best as I can to throw right there.
Wow. Well,
Amazing.
interesting. Well, I'll figure out what's wrong with Edgar's
There's a
guys.
hilarious animated video to go along with Doc Ellis talking about throwing a no-hitter on LSD.
Apparently, he also had the career trajectory of Daryl Strawberry, where he was a promising young player who did a bunch of drugs and
And
You
also, speaking of Edgar, you showed us his Hall of Fame bobblehead with Brett Boone holding his plaque. That was really nice.
Well, Brett Boone didn't get to be on the stage with him, so he
we'll let Brett be the bobblehead. He's
he
fallen on
did
rough
thank
times.
Brett Boone a couple of times.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
might as well played
You know,
together.
Well,
but yeah,
I get
that
yeah.
was a terrible bobblehead. It really does look like Brett Boone. It's just a white guy.
Because I guess did you watch it today when Edgar was talking to Rick Riz?
Did they
and-
talk today again?
Yeah, they talked again today. So they're all sitting on the field and telling stories. And Rick Riz says, "Well, I remember one time, we all went out, we were having drinks and dinner and everything, and it was Edgar and me and Boone, and they're all there. And apparently, Brett Boone would talk a mile a minute." And so he said, Brett's just talking about this and talking about that and how he did this. And he had a good game and he went, 2 for 4. And Rick Riz says Edgar's puffing on a cigar. And he said, "Brett, I would keep quiet if I was you because Rick's career is better than yours right now."
Oh man!
I was like, ooh.
There you
His
go.
average is better than yours right now.
Woo!
I wasn't paying attention. Rick Riz?
Who does not play baseball? And
Edgar
Edgar
just being
just
like,
smiled. Well, because
"Shut up,
remember
Boone."
when he was hit, he just before or after the steroids when he stopped doing it and he
Yeah.
couldn't hit for shit.
Yeah,
Wasn't he?
he had one good year.
Who was it? Who was it hit?
01.
Yeah, but who was it hitting? When the bar down there was
Dave Valley.
oh, was it Dave Valley's batting average? Oh, I was
Valley
thinking-
beer.
Oh,
Yeah, you
They-
could get a beer for Dave Valley.
I thought they sold a pitcher of beer for his batting average.
like $1.75 or
It was
something.
something like that. Yeah.
You get a pitcher of Rainier for,
Whatever his batting average was.
$2.04.
How did Dave Valley feel about that?
Probably not great.
Well, apparently Edgar thought the same of Brett Boone. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then they asked him about the Randy Johnson thing, how Randy was all mad at him for writing something in the paper. Not writing something. He read in the paper that Randy was mad at him.
Edgar did?
Yeah, because at spring training, when Randy had gone to Arizona, Edgar apparently had said to him, well, it's going to hurt, but just for a second, when he hits the ball back to him. Because I guess they were playing first, and Randy didn't like that. So.
And what, Randy Johnson threw at him after that? It's only going to hurt for a little bit.
He said after he heard Randy was mad, he said, I considered going to Lou and telling him my hamstring really hurt.
Yeah. I don't want him throwing in my head.
It really hurt. Anyway.
I remember that All-Star Game clip when John Kruk was going at the bat. And Randy Johnson was pitching, and Randy Johnson lost control, and it went over John Kruk's head.
That was Larry Walker.
Are you sure?
Wasn't he just shaking
Pretty
like
sure
crazy?
It was John Kruk. And he was just like, and then the rest of the time batting, he was just scared, which I don't blame him at all.
I don't blame him at all either.
If I send 100-mile-per-hour fastball a foot over my head, it is Larry Walker. Well, you just typed in Larry Walker.
And it says great All-Star Game moments. It says Colorado Rockies Larry Walker jokingly wore his batting helmet backwards, batted right-handed after American League pitcher Randy Johnson sailed a pitch over his head.
Pretty sure. You should look up Kruk. I'm pretty sure it happened to him too.
In the second inning of the 97 All-Star Game at Jacobs Field in Cleveland
Because I remember Kruk in the Phillies uniform. Pretty sure I'm still right.
Yep, he wants you to type it in. Do it.
What?
I didn't say no backwards helmet. Just said, oh, there you go. Nervous John Kruk.
A nervous John. Yeah, click on
So
that.
Randy Johnson also was wild. Yeah. It's like, oh, shit. Look at him covering his chest off.
Yeah.
I remember the sweaty mullet.
Sweaty mullet.
Well, that wasn't even that close.
But still.
But just the fact that he was out of control,
Just the fact that he was 6'10".
Yeah. Even if it's way over your head, that was aligned with my head. It was over it.
He's
so far.
Look how far out of the batter's box he's standing.
They're all laughing at
Frank
him.
Thomas is laughing at him.
He's stepping so far in the hole there. It's like stepping directly towards first.
Oh, just please let me go sit
"Get
down.
me out of here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So when we retire 51, is it a joint retirement or just Ichiro?
They didn't retire Ichiro's number.
Well,
But they will. They have to retire Ichiro's number.
Why?
That's why he came back to play for us for a season.
You think they're not going to
You
retire?
think they're not going to retire
Those are
Ichiro's
gonna be-
number?
So he could.
Those are
could end his career as a Mariner. You mean?
He already did end his career.
Well,
as
I
a
know,
Mariner.
but you say
But how
That's
we're
why
doing,
he came back, so
how
the
we did it
Mariners could
for
retire his
how we did
number.
it for Griffey and Edgar. We
Yeah.
retired 24 and 11. I think we're definitely retiring 51 for Ichiro. But do you think they'll involve Randy Johnson?
The
at all?
Yankees have some of those joint retirement.
Do you think
numbers.
they'll make it
And so do
be
the Red
Ichiro
Sox.
/ Randy Johnson, or just say, "Hey, Randy Johnson, you left us," even though
Yeah, he didn't start his career with us. He didn't end with us. He didn't win a World Series with us. He did throw
two Cy Youngs?
He did throw our first no hitter. I'm pretty
Did he
sure.
win two
no,
Cy
no, no, no.
Youngs?
He threw the first perfect game. The first Mariners perfect game.
What did he?
Yeah, because Gaylord Perry threw a no hitter,
So was
but maybe even not when he was playing for the Mariners.
I don't know. Did he win 2 Cy Youngs here? I know he won 1, at least. Or was Felix the first perfect game and Randy Johnson was just another no-hitter? I think Felix was the first perfect game.
The first perfect game was Felix, and the first Mariners no-hitter then was Randy Johnson.
Gaylord Perry didn't?
He probably threw his no-hitter before he was with the Mariners. Yep. June 2nd, 1990.
I think he did throw maybe more than one no-hitter with us.
Against
There's
Detroit?
Mariners no-hitters.
At the
Mariners
Kingdom.
no hitters. Well, there's only what, 4.
Randy Johnson.
We had that combined no-hitter that
combined
Kevin
one.
Millwood
Yeah.
started.
What's his name? James Paxton just threw one last year.
Yep, there's Paxton,
Iwakuma.
And didn't. Oh no.
Felix's perfect game counts as a no-hitter. The combined no-hitter. Chris Bosio. Didn't know about that one.
Yeah, there you go.
Chris Bosio, April 22nd, 1993 versus the Red Sox.
Huh.
At the Kingdom. 7-0 victory.
Wow.
And then Randy
Is
Johnson.
that Edgar in a
LeBlanc.
hat there?
Yeah,
He was
Edgar,
fielding at the
Edgar
time?
would have been playing the field here.
What do you know?
Oh,
Doesn't want to work.
well, I got to hit the button.
You gotta hit
Here we
play.
go.
The old jerseys.
4,000 incredibly rabid Mariner fans are looking for that final strike. That will set Mariner history. Here comes the left-hander's line. The 0-2 pitch on the way.
That high heat.
Yeah, he little leagued him up there.
Yeah, that was like a foot out of the strike zone. But when you're throwing 100, you don't have much time to
Yep,
think
there's
about
Edgar
it.
that just came running off of third base.
Briley.
I saw Harold Reynolds out there.
And I saw Briley and
Fireworks in the Kingdom. I remember that.
Crazy everybody saluting the tallest man to ever put on a uniform in the history of
the tallest man.
Wow, I didn't really know that, but it's not surprising.
I think Chris Young was taller than him.
Okay.
But didn't pitch till 10 years later.
But man, that's nothing I've thought about, but I'm not surprised. Was he 6'10"?
Yeah, Randy
Randy
Johnson's
Johnson?
like 6'10". I think Chris Young was like 6'11".
Makes sense why it's so hard to hit when he's like
Yeah, he's
full
coming
stride
down
forward.
the hill.
And he
what you're supposed to
Then
be
you're
throwing.
on the mound and you're
Yeah, what,
he's releasing the ball at like 45 feet.
I was gonna say it's supposed to be 60, right?
Yeah, Randy
He's at the
Johnson
very least-
fully extended.
That's at the very least like 50 feet. He's cutting off 10 feet with that full stride and the arm forward.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Maybe
he look so nice and calm now that
I
he's...
met him one time. He was a nice guy.
Yeah, but not when he was a Mariner.
yeah, he seemed like a hothead. And
I
when he
know.
went, like, remember when he went to the Yankees and like someone was paparazzi was asking something, he just like shoved the camera in his face, like get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
I don't think he was nice.
And now he's like all calm, taking
Yeah.
nature pictures.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, he does
stuff.
photography now.
Good for him.
But then when he's sitting on the All-Star, the Hall of Fame platform, and he's nodding. And
Yeah.
What the heck?
He's got a website. Wouldn't
Yeah,
you know?
his logo is a dead bird.
Okay.
They showed that a million times.
That's awesome.
At the,
Wow.
oh, okay. Well, he went to Africa. We see.
That's at the zoo. He went to the Arizona Zoo.
Well, his website's taking a long time to load. Here you go.
Cool pictures. Look at that monkey.
You could do that name.
Black and white hippo.
Sure, if I went to Africa.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Are you
You
gonna,
just got a big old lens and just.
Yeah.
if I have Randy Johnson's money, I can get the lens and I can get I can pay for the tour.
The lens is the big one.
Yeah.
Well,
It's going to be way more expensive than your ticket.
I don't know.
For a real good lens.
Depends where you're going, and you gotta pay for the ticket. You gotta pay for the hotels while you're there. You gotta pay for
I'm
the
assuming
tour that takes you out to the
You had to
wildlife
have
reserve.
a very good lens to be taking a picture of that cheetah or whatever
would,
that was
yeah.
in the tree.
Because
Yeah.
he's not.
Yeah. Just looking at it like it's
Well-
in the room
Well,
over there.
yeah.
Of course, that other guy was taking the
Like,
picture.
James May with his digital camera on
You
whatever
know,
Top Gear is called now.
the Maasai people of Africa.
Yeah,
They're
the one
just
with the lips and all that.
no.
With the
They're
stretched out
very
lips.
tall and skinny.
Dikembe Mutombo?
Yeah. Well,
No, Manute Bol.
he's Dinka.
What about Manute Bol? This looks like Manute Bol
Manute Bol is Dinka.
as well.
I
Or
saw
are you saying
Manute-
from
I
both
saw
of them
Manute
are?
Bol in person.
And he looks like just a fake person, right? That tall
he
and
is
that skinny.
That tall and that skinny, and he's so dark, he's like almost blue. He looked almost navy blue.
I saw his son at the McDonald's All-American
Bowl
game.
Bowl?
Bowl.
Creative.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
the Dinka
Yeah.
are just
Oh
these.
my God.
See, like they're almost blue. He
Star
was
Trek.
almost blue.
They are these. They're
I told you they had those lip things.
What are
in.
they? What's in that dude's forehead? What's in all of their foreheads?
they do this ritual scarring when they come of age.
Is it scarring or is it like stuff in
No,
their skin?
it's just scarring. They just like cut it with a razor blade. But they're these famously very tall and very skinny people. So I'm just imagining that, when Randy Johnson shows up, they're like, "What? An albino?"
Are you one of us? He's
Yeah.
like he's there dances with wolves.
Yeah.
Damn, that scarring is crazy. Good thing we don't do that. Cut a Mariners logo into my forehead. I'd at least go with some cool scarring if we had to do that.
Oh, here they are with the Mormons.
Oh, joy.
You guys won't even do tattoos. You're not going to razor blade yourself.
I haven't really thought of anything I really... Even when I was like, I'll get one when the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, and then they did, and I was like,
Nah.
I would want to get some really cool like piece. I don't think I would want to get like a little like Seahawks Super Bowl,
But it hurts so bad.
Yeah.
You see those big guys
Expensive
just like almost
too.
crying.
If you want to get
Yeah.
a good one, like I think I'm good.
Do Mormons live in apartments? Have you ever met a Mormon who lived in an apartment?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Huh?
I don't. Have you ever?
How many apartments did they own? Didn't they have like 13 kids?
No.
Have you ever met a Mormon who didn't have a job?
No.
They work
I
at the
don't think
Mormon
so.
church.
Yeah, I think that like all their jobs are arranged for them through the church.
Well, I think if you don't have, I knew a Mormon who worked at the bank with me, but
I think you can go get a job, but if
yeah,
you go
but
to,
if you don't, they'll get you. A
if
job.
you go to the
Yep.
church and say, who's got a job, somebody's gonna come out. Yeah, but I guess I figured that their home loans would be through the church anyway, and that it'd be easy for them to all buy property because it's coming from the Mormon church.
That could be.
And
Yeah, but no, I've known them to live in apartments.
I've never met a Mormon. I've never met an unemployed Mormon. Never met a Mormon who lived in an apartment. Met some ex-Mormons who lived in apartments.
When I was dating the musician back in my young days, one of the guys was Mormon in the band.
See the chill one didn't really do anything. I met a good number
I mean,
of
he
Mormons.
was-
Well, they're talented. They do music as a family. They do it
That's
starting
true.
very young. Like all the kids are encouraged to play instruments very young. They all sit around and sing songs together.
I think he smoked too.
Really?
Oh no,
Are you
they're
allowed to smoke?
no, they're not allowed to have
he smoked.
they're not allowed to have caffeine
I
or
knew the
tobacco.
caffeine, but
Yeah.
I think he smoked too.
I met a good number of Mormons that are like good at basketball.
They're
They-
athletic,
they-
yeah.
A lot of times I'd be playing basketball at the park. Mormons would just show up and be like, "Hey, can we play a game?" Like, of course they're gonna try to talk about God eventually, but it's like, yeah, I'll beat you in
But
basketball.
no,
real
they're
quick.
they're all about organized community events. So they're all about sports leagues and stuff like that.
But when they're showing up playing basketball in like their dress shoes and their slacks and
They're
their,
still balling on you.
yeah, I'm like, man, if you were wearing shorts and stuff, you'd probably be killing me.
They're allowed to wear shorts.
Bright-
and stuff.
There was
Bryce Harper's a Mormon.
There was a neighbor of Kyle Bowden's
Baseball
growing
player.
up that had some religion where he couldn't wear shorts. I don't know what it was. I wish I could remember what the religion was, but he would always come out playing in like the buttons, the sides where they're button, Adidas track pants or something.
Well, they wear garments
hot
underneath,
as-
but they have.
It's hot as hell, and he was sweating and stuff. We're like, why are you wearing shorts?
I've definitely seen Mormons playing basketball wearing
I'm not
shorts.
supposed-
Yeah.
I'm not
They
saying
can
I
wear
don't think
shorts.
he was Mormon.
They have garments
But
underneath.
Was he white?
Yeah. So I don't know what he
Maybe
was.
he was some kind of weird cult.
Yeah.
It could have been. We're not allowed to wear shorts. Like, okay.
Because I know that in like if you told me it was Ratana, like in Buddhism, it's considered rude to be showing your elbows and your knees. So whenever you go into like a Buddhist temple, like if you go over to those countries, they're all wearing like 3/4 shirts and
T-ball?
like and like pants that go down to like mid calf.
T-ball tournament.
because their culture considers it rude to have exposed elbows and knees.
Because they are ugly.
Yeah, nobody wants.
No, nobody wants to
put
see
your
that.
knees away when
I
you're
know,
walking
that's
around. Nobody
gross.
wants to see that.
That's
No
gross.
one wants to see that.
No, nobody definitely does.
I don't want to. I don't want to see a man's ankles or bare feet.
I don't like the feet. Yeah.
I'm willing. I'm
Yeah.
willing to tolerate it June through August, but
Well, no.
you know,
I
you
mean,
see
if
it.
they're
You see it at the
beach.
well.
You
You see it at the
yeah.
college a lot.
Well,
Is like
yeah, we do.
the exchange students. They're all wearing sandals in the middle of February with those pants that are tight right above the ankle.
Yep.
It's like put your ankles away.
That reminds me, talking about feet, that at lunch today with my parents is my parents and my mom's friend that she grew up with, and my dad brought up to my mom's friend how we podcast, saying it's on YouTube and stuff, and my mom said, "Yeah, but you guys talk about gross stuff," and I went, "Well, which podcast did you watch?" She said, "I watched the one with Stu," and I went, "That was the
Oh, that
worst."
was gross. That
Exactly. I
was
said that was
gross.
the one worst one you could have watched. I said,
Yeah.
if you watch any other episode, we're
It's
not that
like
gross.
that. Yeah.
It's
That was
just,
gross.
I said that episode got off on a really weird foot. No pun intended, but that got off on a weird foot. Because I was like, well, what? Because then, of course, my mom's friend's like, well, what were they talking about? And she's like, foot fetish stuff. And I was like, yeah, we don't need to. We don't usually talk like that.
No. Yeah.
It was just, I blame Stu.
I do too.
Stu's just diving into it. He's,
And he was. He was just
Yeah.
going on and on, like, okay, shut up, let's move on. But he
Yeah.
wouldn't. He wouldn't. Very nice to see you guys again.
good to see you too.
Okay, well,
Thanks for the advice. We wrote all those columns you gave advice. That was just us.
it should be. Good luck with your girlfriends.
I don't even remember what the advice
The
columns
crazy
were
girl?
anymore. Oh yeah, no, we want the.
Bitch, I need some Henny and a
we're still
Plan B.
going- I'm still going.
Bitch, I need some Henny and a Plan B. Can I have a Plan B, please?
But she's just walking in the store with an open bottle of Hennessy.
So are they
Nice.
Are they getting a bottle of Hennessy for each of the girls? Or are they getting like one or
They'll
two to
probably
share?
Maybe
I'm
two.
sure they'd share.
Maybe
but that
two.
she put it down on the floor so anybody could have just taken a sip when she was doing her floor
Twerking?
humping.
Yeah, floor humping. I like that better than
And
twerking.
then that poor white girl that was.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
That's
She was.
That's the token white girl. She was the only one that had the real hair. Her hair that was like down to her ass. So, you know, the black girl's got the big booties, but she's got the real hair. So you know,
Is that it needs
that's gonna fall right back out. That doesn't look. You better watch your head. This is about to be. We were just talking about Looney Tunes violence. Right when you put it up, gong, and then you're gonna get the big knot on your head's gonna pop up like in Looney
You guys
Tunes.
missed a cartoon that I used to. Did you ever see Top Cat?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, what do you think about him?
he's alright.
He was. Yeah, he's kind of. He was. Top Cat was very cool.
He
Hong Kong Phooey. I remember that guy too.
Underdog.
Underdog, yeah.
Okay, I don't know what you're trying to accomplish up here. You're just pushing it.
I know because it's got sticky stuff.
Clearly not sticky enough.
Woohoo! That it?
Okay, well, yeah. Hopefully,
Aye.
when it falls again, you won't be under it.